Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over another potential top tier option for the Attribute 4 event in the RIKKA SUNAVALON deck. Now, if you want to see some matches, check the description. I'll link a video where I kind of put up a montage of some older matches, and some of the combos won't be necessarily fully applicable because for the event, this deck will lose Alcy because it's a light, Jasmine and Bongalancer for the same reason, they're lights. But the deck is still very powerful, and we are going to go over how this deck functions and what it's going to take to invest in it. So this is just a pure deck list video. Again, check the description for matches if you're looking for that. But if you take a look at the event ban list, or put the deck on the event ban list, you can see that the main deck itself is fully untouched. There's nothing banned in the main deck. It's only the extra deck that loses some of its extra deck monsters. Unfortunately, the Jasmine is a pretty big loss because it is one of your bridging combo extenders. It helps you get into your RIKKA engine if you only open SUNAVALON, for example, and it's a good extender just in general. So you do lose that, and you lose one of your boss monsters in the Bongalancer, but again, it's not so bad because you have still full power RIKKA cards, which are basically what you play with. Like, I rarely summon Bongalancer, honestly, when I was playing with this deck, but Jasmine is part of your combo. So how would this deck look if you were making it for the event? Well, I actually do have it and plan to use it on this account for the event. And if we look at what the deck list looks like, it's slightly altered. You're playing 2 Loci still, 3 Petal. This is your main normal summon. You don't actually want to normal summon the Loci. You want to bring it out with Unexpected Die. 3 Maxi as a hand trap, 3 Ash Blossom as a hand trap, just one of the Sunseed Twin, which, you know, when you get the Loci on board, you go into Dryas. Dryas will search for this Sunbind Sowing Field spell, which will special summon this Sunseed Twin from the deck, which will bring back the Loci from the graveyard. And this card will trigger when you take damage from the Sunvine Sowing to bring out a Sunvine monster, so one of these two. So off of 1 Loci, you actually get 4 monsters on board. And then, of course, you can extend from there as much as you want. This is where the Jasmine would normally come in. And again, if you look at those videos in the description that I linked, you'll see how the combo works. But obviously for this event, you don't have Jasmine. So aside from that, 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Primula, and 2 RIKKA Princess. These are your main materials to make the Strenna, which is pretty good because it brings back any RIKKA card from your graveyard back to your hand. And then if it's tributed while it has material, you can special summon a rank 5 or higher Plant Xyz monster. Normally what you go into is a Sacred Tree Beast. So if we continue on here, we're also playing 2 Mudan. This is your spell and trap searcher, so we don't play terraforming, but this card will normally always search for field spell if you don't have it already. And then just 1 Snowdrop, the RIKKA Fairy. Now, what you can also opt to play if you want to spend a little bit more is a small Therion package. Because Borea is a plant, if you play this along with the Snowdrop, if you activate Glamour, which is your searcher card, you can tribute any plant monster and search for both the Snowdrop and the Borea. Borea can be special summoned by itself by targeting a plant monster in the graveyard and attaching it to itself as material, and then it can search for the Disc Coliseum. You activate this, it searches out the Therion King Regulus. Then you Xyz with this and maybe the Snowdrop or whatever else, or link this off, and you get this in the graveyard. Then you bring out the Regulus by attaching the Lily Borea. Now you have a free Omni Negate. Now the downside is that this is not a plant, so if you're already locked into plants, you can't use this. And if this is still on your field come the end of the opponent's turn, your Petal in the graveyard, if it's there, it won't trigger, because in order for it to come back, you have to either control no monsters or just plant monsters. So keep that in mind, but having an Omni Negate for RIKKA is very strong, just because the deck in and of itself basically beats every monster-based deck, especially if it goes first. If it goes second, you know, if the opponent puts up a ton of negates, you sometimes might not be able to deal with it, but going first, the deck is like almost unbeatable if it gets its board going and doesn't get like majorly interrupted. Like, it can play through a lot of interruption too. And again, you'll see that in those matches if you take a look at that video. So moving on, and again, I'm not going to play the Therion package because I'm cheap, and this whole point of this video is for it to be free to play. 3 Unexpected Die, 3 RIKKA Glamour. So again, this is your searcher card. You definitely need 3 of this. You can play 1 Sunbind Sowing if you want, but I'm opting for 2. And then 2 of the field spell, 2 Called By, 1 Crossout Designate, because this will help you negate Maxi, Ash Blossom. You need to negate Maxi. Like, you need as many Maxi negates as possible, because Maxi stops combo decks. This is a combo deck. You special summon like 20 times in one turn. So you definitely need to stop Maxi. That's why you play 3 Ash, 2 Called By, and the Crossout. And Crossout also can negate Evenly Matched, which I imagine will get pretty popular for the event. Speaking of which, we're playing 3 as well because it's a good board breaker. 1 RIKKA Tranquility. This is kind of like your trap card Monster Reborn. And you can reborn up to 2 monsters if you tribute a monster. And then RIKKA Sheet, which is preventing the activation of monster effects. So if a monster is summoned and the effect is activated on summon, do not chain this card. It will not negate. So for example, if they summon Moye and reveal a card and you activate this, it will not negate the Moye because it's already been activated. But if they summon a Taya and you activate this before they activate Taya effect, then you would negate the Taya, right? So, and again, I have a clip in the montage video where I actually do that, and you can actually see that in action. And then one card I haven't tried, the SUNAVALON Bloom. Normally wouldn't play this, but for the event, I'm opting to just because I do have these cards. And if we actually take a look at this deck and break down what it is without the ultra rares, so again, remove all the hand traps, you can see that it's essentially just rares and commons and a few super rares. The unexpected dies are from solo mode, you get them from the tutorial, and the RIKKA Con, the field spell, you get from solo mode as well, doing the RIKKA storyline. So aside from that, it's 5 super rares, 2 Mudon and 3 Glamour. And again, if you're opening up this pack, you probably only need to spend like maybe 3,000 gems to open these packs, like 30 of them, because the Blooming Adversity, it can also get you some of these ultra rares. So Teardrop and the Strenna, which, is 120 point investment for ultra rares, which, RIKKA is a pretty fun deck to play in the ladder. I did play this in Duelist Cup and in the ladder. And again, check out that montage. You'll see all the different variety of matches we played, going first, going second. RIKKA can break boards and play through a lot. And like I said, going first, it's really, really strong. So it's a fun deck to play still. I even played against Tearlament and was able to beat it with this deck. So it's definitely not like a deck that's been falling out of the meta. It actually got top 8 at the recent YCS, the 250th YCS, right? So it's a strong deck for sure. But yeah, you can spend some gems and open up some packs, and you can get pretty much a full power RIKKA deck, and then tech it out with hand traps. Aside from that, you play the Sacred Tree Beast. You play 3 SUNAVALON Dryas if you wanted to play the SUNAVALON version. You play Sunvine Healer, Sunvine Thrasher, the SUNAVALON Link 2. Another SUNAVALON Link 2, and then the Link 3s, the Tree and the Malias. This thing just brings back the Loci here, and then you can link off Loci for like a Dryas, but make sure this is not in your extra monster zone because there's no downward arrow, so make sure this is not being or blocking off the additional Link summons. And then you can go into the big boss monster, the Link 4, and then this card, when it's Link summon, you can search out the Bloom, and the Bloom is like negate all monsters on the field. All face up monsters your opponent controls, sorry. And then it makes it so that your plant monster gains attack equal to whatever it points to. So this card, I've seen it in action. I haven't used it, but I've seen it in action, and it's pretty devastating sometimes. So if you can get this combo off, it's very, very strong. And yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Now, if you didn't want to actually spend gems or points, let's say, or too many points on these packs, you can play a pure RIKKA version. I'm just playing the SUNAVALON version because obviously I opened these packs to make the deck for the ladder. But if you were just opting to play pure RIKKA, you can build something like this. Again, you don't need Forbidden Droplet necessarily. I'm just putting it in there because you generate so much advantage and so much resource with RIKKA. Like, you're bringing back the petals, you're searching for additional monsters. You got a lot of fodder for Forbidden Droplet if you want to play it. But if you were playing like more of a streamlined RIKKA deck, you could opt to play like the other RIKKA cards that aren't normally played, like the Erica. This thing boosts attack by 1,000. This thing is a monster negate while in the hand or face up field, and you control a RIKKA monster. So, they have some utility, and the fact that they're level 8s means that with Glamour, you can search out two of the level 8s or 2 of the level 6s, and now because of that, you can also play the rank 6 monster, the Kanzashi, as well. So your extra deck changes up a little bit. This card is like a Plant Zeus, 3 level 6s, so in order to make this, you would probably need like Snowdrop and then a level 6 on board. Snowdrop make everything level 6, because RIKKA Princess is a free special summon. This is a special summon at the end of the turn, if it's not already on your board, etc. So you get a lot of free materials, and you can easily make this, and then detach 2 materials, wipe the board. It's not a quick effect like Zeus, and it does take 3 monsters, and obviously it's not easily summonable like Zeus is, but it is a good way to clear the board if you want to have it in your deck as utility. And then you can also play this card. It's a level 8, so it can be straight up made with 3 level 8s. or you can bring this off of the Strenna and attach Strenna to it. So this card would be good. Let's say if your opponent sets a back row, you're able to tribute off your Strenna during your opponent's turn. You bring this out, you detach that material for the quick effect, and you lock down that spell or trap that the opponent just set, right? That could be pretty good there as well. 2 Teardrop still, 1 Sacred Tree Beast, and then if you wanted to tech it out further, like some of the Marincess cards actually work with the RIKKA deck. However, if you're locked into plant monsters or you need to bring back your pedal, it won't work because the Marincess cards are Cybers. But the Marincess cards do synergize with water monsters, so like if you summon Coral here, you can target a water monster with 1500 or less attack. So that's very powerful. You can bring back like Snowdrop, it's a water monster. All the RIKKA cards are water, right? You can bring back Mudon and get the effect to search for a spell or trap. So you can obviously play more Coral if you want. Aria you could play. Again, I don't have these, so I might not even just play them. I might just play straight RIKKA core. But the Danceophone is very strong as well. This was just released in the tier limit pack, so if you've opened that pack and you've gotten these, or you're planning to open more tier limit packs and you get one, you can keep one and throw it in this deck. It's a very good card. It excavates the cards on top of your deck up to 3, and then you special summon the plant monsters that it excavated. So pretty strong there as well. And then if you wanted to, you can play like some of the Marincess boss monsters, because this card is banish water and then draw. And then this card is when it's in the extra monster zone, nothing can attack it. And you can bounce a water card on the field back to your hand and bounce a card the opponent controls. So this is essentially like the Bongalancer. It almost is like exactly like that. It's not a plant, so it's a Cybers. Because imagine you special summon RIKKA Princess for free, and then you just bounce it back to your hand with Argonaut and bounce a card the opponent controls, right? So I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure it works that way. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. One thing that RIKKA does suffer with is back row. So again, if you want to play Duster or more back row removal like Twin Twisters and Cosmic Cyclones, you can. And you're fine in this deck to go over 40 just because you do run through these cards super fast. And that's, again, one of the problems with the RIKKA deck is that basically by turn 3 or 4, you've used up all your resources in your deck if you constantly try to keep playing. So you're kind of running out of resources. For that reason, a good tech option might actually be Pot of Avarice. This card can be useful to put back some of the Xyz materials, put back some of your RIKKA cards so you can search them out again with the Glamour. So it's good to extend your engine further once you've kind of run through your deck. You can play, I was testing this, 2 of them, and it actually turned out pretty useful if you can get into this by like turn 2 or 3 and recycle a lot of your cards and draw 2 for free, right? So it's really nice for that as well. But yeah, this is the pure RIKKA version, and then like I said, the RIKKA SUNAVALON version is also available. It's probably a little bit stronger despite no Jasmine, but you can definitely play either one and probably see a lot of success. Again, check out some of those matches that we played. They were played I think during the Duelist Cup. Most of them, like I said, I have some after tier limits dropped, but you'll see how the deck plays against like Sword Soul, like burn decks. Like you'll see it play how it plays against a number of things like Sprite, like full power Sprite, full power tier limits, and the deck can definitely do a lot of work. Now, like I said, the deck when I'm playing it in the ladder and in Duelist Cup was obviously full power. It had the Jasmine combo extenders, but it's good to see those too because if you actually like this deck in the event, you might actually want to try it out for fun in the ladder or in casual matches. And investing in the Jasmine is not a bad thing. It's a really good card, and the deck is definitely super fun to play and very powerful. So that's going to do it for this video. Again, make sure you check that description and check out the montage video. There's a lot of good matches in there. You'll see how we push through and power through some boards and play through interruptions ourselves. So yeah, let me know what you think, and hopefully this video was helpful. But thank you for watching, guys. Quantum is out.